Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to go over tubes, as you saw on the thumbnail. So we got there's some tubes we're gonna talk about today. Now, you know about, if you watched some of my previous videos, you guys know that I've been trying to get better with the tube, more comfortable, get more confidence with the tube, throwing it with like a tube jig or Texas rig, or even on a drop shot and all that kind of stuff. And I've been flipping with it into heavy cover. It's been working out really well, and I've got some new tubes I just bought. I tried some out beforehand, and then I loaded up. You guys don't have to load up like I did for these tubes. You can just buy a couple of colors that you really do like, and then go fishing. But I tend to overdo it a lot because I just want to make sure I have what I need out on the water. And sometimes I feel like, for me, it's a disease, and sometimes we all have it. But I feel like one day they might want this color. This is I bought a lot of big bite bait tubes. I fished with them quite a few times. I love, just love how the tube feels. I love this, the texture. They come with a lot of salt and scent too. They've worked out pretty well for me. A lot of good fish on them too. But sometimes they might want this SA special color. It's a black with, like, let's just call it like a disco for you, because it's got a bunch of different flakes in it. Silver, purple, red, all that good stuff. Some days you're gonna want flat out green pumpkin. Solid color to go with. If you're only gonna buy two color tubes, go green pumpkin and something dark like this SA special, or I still got a black, blue, and silver flake. So if you're only gonna buy a couple colors, just buy those two colors, go fishing and try them out. But I already did that and I really liked them, so I bought a bunch. And as you saw, I already built a box for it and everything too. I was gonna walk you guys through that. I've shown on previous videos on tackle organization and all that fun stuff, so I won't bore you guys with that again. But today I am going to go through with a little bit more in depth of why I bought these ones, and the sizes, why I chose the sizes, and how I plan on using them. Because when I was fishing with them, it's just been, like I said, flipping and pitching into heavy cover, pads, reeds, in deeper weed lines too. So tubes they're no secret, definitely not a secret. They've been around for decades, and it's just been a really phenomenal bait. It's fallen off the radar, and it's actually made its way back. It's back in, and and then just kind of like spinner baits kind of fell off the track for a little while. And that's same thing with the tubes. Tubes are coming back. They're kind of a sneaky little thing. Everybody's throwing these beaver style baits and all that other stuff, and well, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. And the tube has kind of been forgotten. Well, it's making a comeback, if it hasn't already. I haven't been noticing a ton of guys using the tube over the beaver style bait as it's flipping anyways. But especially for smallmouth, there's a lot of guys throwing the tube for smallmouth that I'm noticing anyway. So I feel like it's already made the comeback, and it's here again, and it's something that I've been working on. And I feel pretty confident with it now, so that's why I went off and purchased a bunch of these. So we're gonna jump right into it. First thing is, so this first box that I got here, we got so from Big Bite Bait. So they're not all. So these red ones are not from Big Bite Bait. These are some Bass Pro Shops 4-inch. It's the 4-inch Magnum flipping tube, and it's called the Tomato Pepper. I wanted something red for in the springtime and in the fall. Just something that just stands out, probably more or less the springtime. Because a lot of times when you're throwing like crankbaits and other baits in the the spring, well, in fall too, whenever it gets colder, you're throwing some reds as well, because some of the craws, they turn a little bit of reddish tint. So this is a pretty red tube. I haven't had a chance to fish it yet, but I'm gonna try it this next season. A few months away yet, but yeah. So we got that, and then the rest of these are the Big Bite Bait tubes, and we got the 4-inch flipper tube, And then we got the 2.5 inch salt tube in here. Now I went with the 2.5 inch. I'll just take the one out. I'll take out a color that I really fell in love with. This color actually, what is it called? It's called Roadkill. Love that name. That's an awesome name for this. It's pretty much a green pumpkin with a lot of gold and red flake. Love this color. When I was fishing for smallmouth on one of the lakes this last summer, I was using a little bit bigger of a tube, 3.5 inch tube, and I'll get to that tube later. That's why that tube is in its own box, and I'll explain why. But these tubes, it just worked out that way too. I didn't want to have 3 separate boxes. Plus, I didn't want to, you don't need a big box for just these 2.5 inch salt tubes. But anyways, these tubes are they're a little bit smaller. So when you're on more of a pressure body of water, I can jump down to these, or when I'm on a pressure body of water, I can jump down to these. But I'm on a net head, or a smaller tube jig, and even a drop shot. These things are phenomenal on a drop shot. So these little tubes, they are going to get bit. But this color has been one of my favorites because I threw the 3.5 inch on a color very similar to this, and the smallmouth were just hammering it. Like I think I had 5 fish chasing the fish that had it in its mouth. Well, 4 fish, whatever. I had a bunch of fish chasing the one that had that jig in its mouth, or the tube. So I mean, it works out really well, and that's my whole thing for getting the 2.5 inch. I don't fish it a ton, but I bought about 10 colors of it. But I mean, it's situational. The color wise, I feel like different colors are gonna produce bites better than others depending on water clarity, and legs depending on the forage as well. So that's why I do it. And these little tubes are, I feel like they're just gonna get bit all over. Sometimes you might get a lot of smaller bites too, but at least you'll be able to figure out what those fish are. And then sometimes you can get bigger bites as well. I think I got my PB smallmouth came on a really small drop shot bait. So actually it was a 2.5 inch Ned craw. So yeah, so these small tubes definitely going to be in play. And then these flipper tubes, the reason why I went with these for flipping and pitching is because they got a thicker nose here for the Texas rig, and their bodies are thicker too, so they can take more of a beating. Plus all the salt and the scent that's on these things, love it. And then they're more streamlined rather than like a beaver style bait here that's got the appendages on the side. And the appendages, of course, you can take those off, but this also has ribs. This one's smoother, so you can it'll go through the heavy cover a little bit easier as well. And it's a little bit bigger, it's got a little bit bigger profile. They call these 4 inch, they call this a 4 inch, and this is a little bit longer, but that's all right. It's got a little bit bigger profile. I don't mind that, not at all. So this is when I'm throwing these tubes, I'm going to throw these on. My flipping and pitching weight that I'm going to start out with always is 3/4 ounce, and then if the cover is heavier or thicker, I'll jump up to 1. I'm up in the northern part of the country in North Dakota, Minnesota, so we don't have that thick of cover. Obviously down in Florida, I'm probably going to be throwing 1.5 ounces, or shoot, I don't know. But from what I can tell from talking to a bunch of guys, they throw about 1.5 ounces, 1.25 ounces at minimum. Some guys throw 2 ounce weights on their flipping and pitching. So I mean, it's a whole different ball game down there with the cover. But for up here, I'm going to start with 3/4 ounce, and I'm going to have it's going to be a 4/0 Guggen heavy hammer hook. And like I said before in a bunch of my other videos, that's one of my favorite hooks. It's a hybrid between the EWG hook and it's in a worm hook, and I have a ton of good luck with it. Flipping and pitching, Texas rigging, all around. I mean, I've tried the whole flipping hook thing, with the knot, and where when it tightens up, the hook point sticks up and it hooks the fish. I tried that, and it's probably a personal error of why it didn't work, but it didn't work for me. I missed, out of 6 bites, I missed 5. And after that, I thought, no, I'm not doing this. I never had that much of a problem with this before. And I used an EWG hook before that. So I went back to an EWG and I caught it. I started catching those fish. I didn't miss them like I was before. My hookup ratio went up a lot better for me. I mean, it's not going to be the same way for everybody else sometimes. So there's some guys that they're the exact opposite. They hate the EWG style hooks for flipping and pitching, and then they love that flipping hook. Now there is the issue with that. So there's an issue with that. So one issue is, so when that hook comes down from the eyelet, it comes down and it makes that little jog. That little jog before the hook, that little jog is actually one of the reasons, I talked to a couple of guys, one of the reasons why that they don't like it. Sometimes it grabs on it grabs onto some of the cover. I don't have that much of an issue with it. I mean, it doesn't really hinder my bites or anything like that. So I'm just gonna keep going with it. I got a lot of good hookup ratio. So anyways, I'm gonna start off with 3/4 ounce weight. I'm gonna peg it all the time. And then a 4/0 Guggen heavy hammer hook on here. And for me, like I said, I'm not down in Florida, so I'm gonna throw on a 50-pound braided line. And I really love the XPS black braided line from Bass Pro Shops or Cabela's. I bought mine from Cabela's, but I like that black braided line because it's a little bit for me, the way I look at it, from my experience, it's a little bit harder to see in the water, and it's a confidence thing for me. I've caught them without the black line too, but what I would always do beforehand is, when I had the green braided line, I would take a Sharpie. And so if you don't already have other line on there but you want a black, just take a Sharpie and color up 4 or 5 feet from your hook or jig, whatever, cover 4 or 5 feet up, and it's the same thing. The only problem with that is that you got to do that a couple times throughout the day. Black braided line, it might look gray after a while, but as soon as you dip it down into the water, it's black again. I've used it for the same spool of black braided line now for 2 years, and it's still holding up. It's still not as great as it when I first took it out of the box, but still better than throwing on that, or taking that Sharpie to it. So anyways, sorry guys, I got into a little bit of a tangent there, but back to the tubes. So this tube, and it's got some weight to it, so that's nice. It's going to help ease the casting a little bit as well. And the texture, it just feels like when the fish are going to bite it, it feels like they're going to hang on a little bit longer. So that's the reason why I bought those, the 4-inch flipper tube, stronger tube that can flip right in there and get more bites. Now I think back to the 2.5 inch. Pretty sure I went over this enough, but this one is pretty much just going to throw this on, like I say, a Ned head or a drop shot. Yeah, so we went over that one pretty good. Got a couple different colors for that. Just try it out. This smoke purple black flake. That's going to be a really good color to throw on really clear pressured water as well. So really excited for those, and got them in their separate boxes here. Now I'm going to talk about these other ones here. So now I've got these, better open it so you guys can see it. Chartreuse tubes, all chartreuse, bright. And those ones are also from Bass Pro Shops. I got them a while ago. I haven't used them yet, but I got them a while ago and I decided to throw them in a box. Those are 3.5 inch. It's called the tender tube. I don't know why I'm closing this box up, and the rest of these are Big Bite bait tubes. They're 3.5 inch. I have no affiliation with Big Bite bait tubes or Big Bite baits, and I mean, they're not sponsoring anything. This is just some tubes that I really like the colors. I like how how their action in the water, and I've caught fish on them. It's a confidence thing for me. So I mean, they got some really cool looking colors here, like this one here. So we got it's like a smoke red. Yeah, well, that's what it is. I just get the right name for it. Dark smoke red flake. I really like this color, so it's this is gonna work out pretty good too. We got a lot of different colors here. I'll take out the one where I was catching a smallmouth on. This one is the green pumpkin purple copper flake, and I really like this tube. I really do. And so the reason why the 3.5 inchers have their own box, and the reason, you know, I bought a couple more colors than the other boxes, than the other tubes, is because the 3.5 inch tube for me is a very versatile tube. Smallmouth are gonna crush it, largemouth are gonna crush it. I've had both fish eat this tube, and this is the one where this is actually the exact tube and color where I had the smallmouth chase it, and they just wanted it. And I don't know what I mean. I was in shallow water. I was in 6 feet of water, and the boat was 6 feet of water, right? So, and they're right down by the boat, and I was just jigging it. And I've got it in one of my previous videos. I'm not sure which one it is, but yeah, out in the middle on a hump, and and I could see them with my own eyes. That was a crazy thing. So smallmouth definitely love this tube, and you know, I did catch a couple on it. So I mean, there's the proof right there, proof in the pudding, as they say. But this tube, I mean, it's really good too, versatile. I mean, if you really wanted to, throw on a smaller hook on it, and you can punch this if you really wanted to. I don't have a really good luck at punching with smaller hooks, but you can try it. Shoot, you can throw this on a drop shot, shaky head, Ned head, obviously your standard tube jig. Super versatile. I mean, I really love this tube, so I really made sure to grab a couple of different colors. Let's see here, the trying to figure out which color. So this is the one that I'm interested in trying. So we got the green pumpkin tube body with a dark smoke with purple flake tails here, and a skirt. And I'm really excited to try this tube. I feel like this tube has the best of both worlds. Sometimes it's not good to combine two really good colors. Sometimes it just doesn't work. But I don't know. I've never tried it, so I'm gonna try that this next season and see how it works. We're gonna go through some of our next tournaments this next year. So far, they're not finalized yet. Are gonna be on some smallmouth bodies of water, and I'm definitely gonna be tubes are definitely gonna be out on the deck. So, but yeah. So I mean, I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of a insight on some of my tubes I'm going to be throwing. You know, that's, you guys know I've been trying to be better with the tube and get more confidence in it and throwing it, and I feel like I'm there. I still need to throw a little bit more, and I plan to. I have a lot of fun throwing it. I do get a lot of bites throwing it, as you guys have seen in the past videos. So we're going to keep rolling with it. And yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know that, or I just wanted to show you guys all the tubes that I picked up. Now, you don't got to buy a bunch of tubes like I just did. Like I said, I go overboard. You really only need like maybe a few different colors. You know, obviously something dark like black, or black and blue flake or something like that. A green pumpkin, and then, you know, maybe something like a smoke purple with black flake or something like that. Just something kind of in between, where it's, you know, you can get some of those more get more bites on a more pressured lake. So all right guys, well, that's gonna do it. I just want to jump on here and explain to you guys a little bit more about my tube fishing, my setup, how I'm gonna fish these tubes, and why I got these 3 different sizes, and my reasoning behind it. So I really appreciate you guys for watching, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, and we'll catch you in the next video.